is Stuart. All right, this is all yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for being here. Very excited to do this and talk about my new book. And we deal with stress too. So how many people here, just so I know, have heard of constellation healing? One person? Okay, we're even gonna do a little exercise on them, because a lot we carry ancestral stress, things that were unresolved in our previous generations that we carry. So I wrote this book to make it a little less therapeutic, so to speak, and make it more fun to deal with. So how many people here, first of all, my name's Stuart, and I've been doing this, whereabouts? Where's my mark?
That's good.
There, okay.
Just don't be on it.
Thanks. My name's Stuart, and I've been facilitating constellations for 18 years, going on my 18th year here, and I've done about 9,000 processes. So there's a lot we carry from our ancestors that we're not aware of. So the reason I wrote the book is it's a very hard topic to talk about, because we don't think that we're carrying something that's unresolved from another generation. But if we look at it as a movie, how many people feel they come from a dysfunctional family? All right, I'm not alone. It's not just me. That's why I got into this field anyway. We all did, but you know what? So did your parents. So did your grandparents. So did your great-grandparents. The beauty of this work is even if they're living and dead, it's very shamanic. We get to go into the energy field that literally is kind of holding the space with our DNA. A lot of people say, nah, how can this work, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's just like gravity. We don't see gravity, but it has a force that holds the whole solar system in place. Our family system and dead ancestors actually have the same gravitational pull on us. How many women here feel they picked the wrong guy over and over again? Great, great. Well, maybe your grandmother did or your great-grandmother, and that's a pattern of loyalty and dysfunction that we're afraid to do it different. And the other thing is, we feel like we're being loyal and showing love by suffering. So that's what I notice most. So, you know, some people have a movie called Groundhog Day in their life. They repeat over and over and over. It's to show loyalty, because sometimes there's an inherent guilt if you do something different than, let's say, a woman who suffered before, then you're betraying the family system. So you would rather suffer in a bad relationship than have a great relationship, because none of the other women got to have it, so why should I? So that's like a deep inherent guilt, and those bonds, even if it's dysfunctional, would rather be bonded to the dysfunction than step out into something new on our own that's never been done before. So with this work, when we heal for one, we heal for all. And a lot, I consider myself a gay feminist here, because I really want to empower women to have their voice, that they don't have to suffer in silence anymore. And Western woman is the changes that are happening right now in the West, which are great, but if you go to the third world and see, I have clients that have been to the Congo, the rape crisis throughout the world, a baby just fell over. Is the baby okay? Okay, great. Don't knock any babies over here today, that's for sure. Anyway, so a lot of suffering is still in the world in third world countries, in the Congo and Africa and all throughout. So it's really important to give women their rightful voice and to have a place in society that's not secret or manipulative, that they can just speak their truth without being victims. So I always do that a lot, even for your ancestral women who didn't have that voice, who suffered in silence. And you know, some of the ramifications, which the gentleman was talking about stress, how many women were touched inappropriately, boom, breast cancer 20 years later. So, and I've worked with PhDs who came to me to work on just, you know, improving their life in the minute. So we use a representative to be the client. A total stranger in the audience does not have your family filters on. There's no blinders on. So they tune into the creative force of your entire family system, living and dead, in a nanosecond. We may bring, a friend of mine's coming, we may do a little demo, and I have a closing meditation for you to have a little bit of a live experience today. So what happens is the things that are unresolved get stuck in the body. So say this woman who was a PhD, no slouch, about 72 years old, she brought in a rep to have her get more prosperity. She touched the rep, more prosperity, nothing about abuse. No one in the room knew anything about it. The person collapsed, they were shivering on the floor, someone's attacking me. She was like bolted off her chair. The 4-year-old, when her brother started abusing her, he was about 8 and she was about 4, is still in her at 75 years old. It's like our soul goes on pause when there's trauma or stress in our family system, and it kind of stops developing in some way. Sure, we grow up to an adult, but it kind of stops on pause until it's safe enough to process the deep pain. So I pride myself in that, and the whole group learns by it. I can't tell you how many women watching another woman suffer, it brings up theirs. And the great thing about it is healing everyone at the same time. So constellations really give us access to the consciousness of totality. We're all conscious beings. You're as conscious as me. I'm as conscious as you. And when we come in a circle, usually my groups are in a circle. This is a lecture, so it's different. Then the whole truth can show up. A new phrase that came to me during a lecture at a workshop is, once something is whole, it's no longer a puzzle. And a lot of us come from a family system where there's lots of puzzling. Why did he do that? Why did she do that? And so on a soul level in a family system, it's very different that we suffer out of actually unconditional love, because when we're born as a baby, we'll do anything to serve our creators, mother, father, or even if it's adoptive, our adoptive family, separate from our birth family. And we take in all the negative energy of the family as babies, just to serve our creators. So in a way it's self-sacrifice, which I really went into that in detail in the book. So on the surface it's kind of movie-oriented, but as I go deeper, I go into these deeper dynamics that we all live with, consciously and unconsciously. The great thing about constellations is they make the unconscious conscious, and once you're conscious of something, you're empowered to make a new choice. And that's the live moment here of creation. You can make a new choice, be aware that you're following a negative pattern that's not yours. This is the kicker. It's not your pattern. It was established by the ancestors who came before eons ago. So we always honor and respect them. We never reject it. I have many clients, their grandfather happens to be a serial killer. Who am I to judge that? That gave the client life. Many women, severe sexual abuse, but they chose to become mothers. So should every woman or every male be exterminated a la Adolf Hitler because they weren't perfect beings on Earth? No, they did one thing good, they had sex, they created life and moved it forward to the future. And maybe just right now we're safe enough to process it, to release it, and start fresh. Because when we do it for ourselves now in the present moment, we do it for everyone who came before. Yes, what was that?
Time? We're out of time.
Already? That was fast.
You got 5 minutes.
Okay, that's good, that's good. Quickly, does anyone have any questions? Yes?
So, where do we get more information on your website?
Yeah. And I have cards and brochures I can hand out afterwards. And my website's, actually I just rebranded it. It's www.constellationswithgarystuart.com. And I have a free ebook if you'd like to go to healinginaction.now.com that describes the process a little bit. So let's do is that okay for just a 3-minute meditation? Okay, I told him I wouldn't be a stage hog. I respect everyone's time. And for Bill, which is a great conference, to run smoothly. Anyway, so why doesn't everyone close your eyes where you are right now? We're just doing a quick closing meditation. Think of all the times in your life that you were thought less than, not good enough, you had fear, you had self-judgment, and any negative things that your family might have told you, your mother, your father, whatever it is. So think of that, feel it in your body, take a nice deep breath. Great. And just tune into yourself at the subtlest level. There's no right or wrong here. Okay. Great. Now we're going to have you stand up. If people could stand up now. You're going to turn back and look at the seat of your chair. Okay? You're going to bow to that experience because something in all those negative things that happened or messages gave you strength to be here today and alive, which you're the future of your ancestors. Bow to that with gratitude that even though it's a tough lesson, you learned something. Now turn around and face the stage. You've just said goodbye to your past. You let that be in the past, and now you're fully present facing your future. And I get a standing ovation. So it's a win-win for all of us. Thank you very much. It's been an honor and pleasure. My name is Gary Stuart, and I have flyers and brochures I can hand out to anyone's interested. I'll be in the back by the ladder. Thank you very much, Victoria. It was an honor and pleasure.